Ladies and gentlemen, let no one underplay this for you. India's parliament, this country's most secure building, a building that houses our MPs and by extension our democracy, was breached today. Yes, there were no gunshots or bomb blasts or bloodshed, but it easily could have been. This is a VVIP failure of epic proportions, one that could have been disastrous and ended in a massacre. That it didn't is simply our good luck. And that it happened on the 22nd anniversary of the Parliament attack is no coincidence either. Look at the pictures that came in, sharp at 1:02. They were live. The entire nation was watching. There they are, unnerving and simply unacceptable. First, we see a young man jump down from the visitors' gallery in the Lok Sabha. He's leaping across tables where MPs are seated. And then he releases a canister spewing yellow smoke. This man on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, is Sagar Sharma. He's an engineering student from Mysore. We are told he's 25 years old. He was screaming, "Tanashahi nahi chalegi." He wasn't alone. A second intruder at the visitors' gallery too released this yellow substance. And then this happened. First, surprise, then shock, and then MPs getting into action. 6 of them encircle Sagar and beat him up. The other intruder is apprehended by the Parliament security. Simultaneously, there is high drama outside Parliament as well. Let's play those pictures out as well. So there is drama and frankly scare inside Parliament and outside too. This is where coloured smoke canisters are exploded by 2 people, a man and a woman. Amol Shinde, 25, who's from Latur, and Neelam, who is 42, she's from Hisar. All 4 have been apprehended. There is a multi-agency probe that is currently underway. And both these incidents have a common thread and are probably linked. As I said, a multi-agency probe is underway. But the questions are many. How could India's most secure building be breached? This is our new parliament. How could visitors cross not 1, not 2, but 3 layers of security with chemicals stuffed inside their shoes? What if these chemicals were poisonous? What if the Prime Minister was in the Lok Sabha? Is this a security breach or an intelligence breach? And where will the accountability be fixed? Sagar Sharma's visitor's pass bore the stamp of a BJP MP. He's the BJP MP from Mysore. His name is Pratap Simha. Will he be questioned? Will he be sacked? Let me go across straight to all the sound bites, to all the reactions that have come in to us from Parliament post what happened.
सर, क्या रहा था उस टाइम? आप बोल रहे थे, क्या क्या उस टाइम हुआ था सर, अगर आप बताएं तो, क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट में कोई विजिटर वॉल से, विजिटर गैलरी से कोई कूदा था, क्या हुआ था?
एक्चुअली में मेरा शून्यकाल में मेरा वक्तव्य था, उसी टाइम में मैं बोल रहा था। सभी में शुरू किए मैंने एक्चुअली हमारे अध्यक्ष जी या हमारे सभापति जी को मैं उसमें उसके मैं देख के मैंने अपना वक्तव्य रख रहा था। एक्चुअली मेरे को तो टाइम फिक्स्ड है शून्यकाल में, आपको पता है, लेकिन उसी टाइम में मुझको बोलना पड़ेगा। मैं शब्द शुरू किया, उसके बाद मैंने मेरा दाहिना तरफ से जहां से विजिटर्स गैलरी है वहां से एक आवाज मुझे कान में आया। इसके बाद मैंने बोलते रहा, फिर भी सामने से सांसद, बहुत सारे सांसद जी हमारे, वो दौड़ के इधर आ रहा था, बोल रहा था इसे पकड़ो पकड़ो इसे बोल के। फिर भी मैं पीछे मुड़ के देखा तो और भी एक ऊपर से कूद पड़ा। उसके बाद वो दोनों को पकड़ा गया, हमारे सांसद, सभी सांसद साथ में थे, पकड़ा गया। उसके बाद सिक्योरिटी को उसको पकड़ के उसको जमा के उसको हाथ में उसको दे दिया। ये जो हुआ संसद में, ये बहुत ही डर की बात है। मैं बहुत अभी भी मुझे डर रहा है, डर लग रहा है।
दादा, नारे भी लगाए थे उन्होंने, कुछ वो कह रहे थे, क्या हुआ था?
तानाशाही नहीं चलेगा, यही नारा मैंने सुना। मेरा कान में जो आया था वो तानाशाही नहीं चलेगा, ये बोल रहा था वो जोर जोर से वहां पे।
One was attempting to run towards the speaker's chair. He was overpowered by members, and I do not know, they were shouting some slogans which I couldn't make about. But the fact that there were two people who could come into the visitors' galley with canisters which could emit smoke, this smoke could have been toxic, it could have been poisonous, or it could have even been smoke bombs. We do not know, but it emitted an yellow smoke, and this is a serious breach of security, especially 13th of December, the day in which Parliament was attacked in 2001.
The fact that these people were apparently sponsored by a sitting MP of the ruling party, I don't want to take any names until the details are publicly known. Secondly, that these fellows smuggled in these smoke pistols, which shows a very serious security lapse. Thirdly, that not only did they fire the pistols, they leapt into the floor, they shouted some slogans which are not audible to some of us, but the fact that they did that is better than if they had actually tried to kill people. This is the anniversary of a tragic assault in Parliament where 7 of our people died. I mean, we can't, take these matters lightly.
आज बहुत ही बड़ा सिक्योरिटी लैप्स हुआ है जब देश जो है संसद पर अटैक की 21 साल हुए हैं। आज हम अपने उन शहीद सुरक्षा कर्मियों को जो है श्रद्धांजलि दे रहे हैं और ये पता करने की जरूरत है कि किसके पास पर आए ये लोग, कहां से आए। जैसा कि भी प्राइमा फेसी पता चला है कि कोई मैसूर के सांसद प्रताप सिम्हा जी के गेस्ट के रूप में पास पर आया है। कोई सागर करके उसका जब देखा तो उसका नाम कोई सागर करके है जो जिस लड़के को एक को पकड़ा है।
Ma'am, we saw a major security breach today. How is the TMC party reacting to it?
No, we are very concerned. This is a matter of grave concern. Lawmakers inside Parliament, the session is on, tremendous security lapse. BJP MP Pratap Simha, he has issued 2 passes to these 2 individuals who today created a chaos and mayhem when the session was on. Canisters with smoke coming out, there was sounds coming out, tremendous thing. So BJP MP has to take responsibility for this, and All India Trinamool Congress is demanding that such a person who has compromised, he's an elected member of parliament, he has compromised with the security of the country, with the security of the parliament, so he must be expelled.
Let me go straight across to my colleague Ranjita, who is joining us live from Parliament. Ranjita, सबसे पहले तो एक बात बताइए कि पॉलिटिक्स जो है वो तो उसके बारे में बात कर लेंगे, लेकिन अभी हमको बताया जा रहा है कि टोटल 7 सस्पेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं। 2 को तो हमने पार्लियामेंट के अंदर देखा, 2 को हमने बाहर देखा। जो बाकी लोग हैं, जो 7 की बात की जा रही है, ये 3 लोग और कहां से हैं, 2 लोग और कहां से हैं, कुछ पता चल रहा है इनके बारे में?
बिल्कुल, देखिए अभी जो जानकारी निकल कर आ रही है, क्योंकि ये पूरा घटनाक्रम संसद के अंदर और संसद के बाहर दोनों जगहों पर हुई है। 2 जो तस्वीरों में दिख रहे हैं वो 4 लोग दिख रहे हैं। सूत्रों का ये कहना है कि अंदर 3 लोग प्रवेश किए थे। 2 को हम तस्वीरों में देख रहे हैं, एक जो स्पीकर की तरफ बढ़ता हुआ दिख रहा था और दूसरा जिसे सांसदों ने पकड़ा और उसके पास भी कुछ उसी तरह की चीजें थी जो कलर स्पार्क की तरह वो इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे, जैसा कि बाहर भी दिखा था। ये भी बताया जा रहा है, क्योंकि अब पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है, तो उसमें ये भी चीजें सामने आ रही है कि ये अलग अलग राज्यों से ये ताल्लुक रखते हैं, लेकिन अलग अलग राज्यों से इन्होंने सोशल मीडिया के जरिए इन्होंने बातचीत की और उसके जरिए इन्होंने आज का दिन ही चुना। और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कि आज का दिन चुनने के पीछे उनकी क्या कारण थे, जांच के जरिए जरूर पता चलेगा। लेकिन मैं गुरजीत ओजला, जो कांग्रेस के अमृतसर से लोकसभा सांसद हैं, उनसे बात करना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि आज जो ये पूरा हमने संसद के अंदर एक दहशत भरा माहौल देखा, उसको उन्होंने आंखों देखी देखा था। और गुरजीत जी, ये बताएं आपकी, क्योंकि आप अंदर थे, 0 आवर चल रहा था, एक अफरा तफरी का माहौल अंदर भी बन गया था, क्या कुछ आपके जहन में है अभी?
देखो, जो उस समय था वो तो ऐसे था कि जैसे आतंकी हमला हो गया था। लंच का समय रिजर्व होना था, तो वो समय एकदम पीछे से शोर आता है कि एक आदमी उस गैलरी से नीचे छलांग लगाते हैं, 2 आदमी, तो वो स्पीकर की तरफ भागते हैं, वो कुछ चीज निकालने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो हम उसको आगे से ललकार कर उनकी तरफ भाग रहे हैं। तो एक आदमी तो कोई पकड़ लिया, तो दूसरा आदमी पीछे छिप के वो निकाल लेता है, बम सा वो स्मोक था, वो फिर वो स्पीकर की तरफ भागने लगता है, तो वो फिर हमने जाकर उसको दबोच लिया और उसके वो छीन कर तो बाहर लाकर मैंने उसको फेंका, हाथों पाई हुआ। तो वो मंजर तो 1-1.5 मिनट का ही था, लेकिन एकदम मतलब पता ही नहीं चला कि कैसे हो गया। क्या
समझने का भी मौका उतने कम वक्त में मिला नहीं।
कभी सोचा नहीं था ना कि ऐसा हो जाएगा, कि नया पार्लियामेंट है, सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम है, ऐसे तो कहाँ कौन पहुंच पाएगा। लेकिन उन्होंने जो दिन चुना था, जो उनका मंशा था, वो तो हमने आज देख लिया। उन्होंने तो
सिक्योरिटी जो कहते हैं वो पुख्ता रहती है पार्लियामेंट के अंदर, क्योंकि हम मीडिया वाले, हमारा भी पास बनता है, हम भी देखते हैं कि किस तरह से सुरक्षा पूरे संसद की जाती है। इतने सुरक्षा के बीच इस तरह की घटना होना, नया पार्लियामेंट कई सवाल खड़े करता है।
पास तो रिलेशन से मिलता है। अब सांसद लोग हैं, चुन के आते हैं, तो बहुत लोग हमें जानते हैं, वो कह देते हैं हमारे रिश्तेदार ने देखना है, दोस्त ने देखना है। तो हमने कभी ये तहकीकात नहीं किया रिश्तेदार कौन है, क्या करता है, क्या करेगा, ये तो हमने कभी ध्यान ही नहीं दिया। ये तो अब पता चला है कि ये बहुत उन्होंने वही रास्ता चुना, एक सांसद को अप्रोच करके पास ले लिया और अंदर चले गए। लेकिन वहाँ
क्या उन पर जैसे, क्योंकि कहा जा रहा है कि उनसे भी पूछताछ होनी चाहिए, कैसे वो जानते हैं, किस तरह से उन्होंने उन्हें पास दिया, वो
उसी तरह ही होनी चाहिए। यदि कहीं ऑपोजिशन सांसद के पास से चला जाता तो उसके साथ ये क्या व्यवहार करते, अभी ये आप समझ लो। तो वो ये तो मैं नहीं ये कहूंगा हमारा वो साथी है, उससे भी हो सकता है, मतलब यही हुआ होगा कि उसको किसी के कहने पे उसने दिया होगा।
ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग भी आज स्पीकर ने बुलाई थी, आपसे भी उन्होंने पूछा, क्योंकि आप लोग वहां अंदर मौजूद थे।
बिल्कुल, उन्होंने बुलाकर उन्होंने शाबाश भी दी है, उन्होंने बहादुरी के साथ लड़ने के लिए जो उससे छीना है। मैं तो ये धोने जा रहा था, उन्होंने बोला नहीं अभी नहीं धोना बेटा, ये बाद में धो लेना आप एक बार, क्योंकि आपने बहुत काम किया है, तो अब एक बार लोगों के में भी जाकर ये पता होना चाहिए कि आपने ये काम किया।
कई अब कहा जा रहा है कि कई टाइट सिक्योरिटी अब संसद के अंदर होगा, पास बनाने से लेकर के ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि पूर्व सांसदों को भी पास नहीं दिया जाएगा, स्टाफ को पास नहीं दिया जाएगा, जो मौजूदा सांसद है।
ये बात नहीं है, देखो आपने उसको पकड़ना है, आप दूसरे को सजा थोड़ा ना देना है। मैं तो इसके हक में नहीं हूँ, पास आप दो, अब उसकी प्रक्रिया ठीक करो ना। ये थोड़ा बात क्या बंद कर दो, पूर्व सांसद आतंकवादी है, ये गलत बात है। ये तो हम पार्लियामेंट में भी रखेंगे, सबको पास दो, कोई गैलरी में शीशा लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है। फिर तो हम ये कितनी देर छुप के रहोगे। आप अपनी सिक्योरिटी टाइट करो ना, जिसको एक्टिव करने की जरूरत है वो एक्टिव करो। इनको क्यों रोकते हो? फिर तो रोड के भी आप जा रहे हो, फिर कभी भी कुछ हो जाएगा। ये तरीका नहीं है, पास नहीं बंद होने चाहिए।
और इस पर जो राजनीति विपक्षी पार्टियों का जो कहना है, वो कह रहे हैं कि इस सुरक्षा में चूक है और सरकार की लापरवाही है, इस पर क्या कहेंगे?
ये तो है ही है ना, ये तो सुरक्षा में चूक तो है ही है। वो कौन सा अंदर से खरीद के ले गया, वो तो बाहर से लेकर गया। उनकी हिम्मत देखो, पहले हो सकता है वो पहले भी आए हों, पहले भी वो देख के गए हों कैसे आना है, कैसे जाना है, क्या करना है। हो सकता है वो पहले भी विजिट करके गए। ये पूरा तहकीकात का मामला है।
बिल्कुल, तो ये पूरी तरह से जांच का मामला है, कहना है गुरजीत ओजला का, जो उस समय लोकसभा में मौजूद थे। और वो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि इसको लेकर पूर्व सांसदों के पासेस न बनाना, पास नहीं देना लोगों को, ये कहीं ना कहीं गलत है, बल्कि इसकी पूरी तरह से जांच होनी चाहिए।
Chaliye, thank you very much, Ranjita, for getting us that very important voice. Now, there is, of course, a video that is showing us that there were parliamentarians, including Mr. Ojla. There were 6 of them who actually surround Sagar, that one intruder who you see leaping across tables. And then they apprehend him, they beat him up and hand him over to the security. But there's been a request that has come in from the Parliament Secretariat not to that video out, so we are not putting that video out. But Mr. Ojla was not just an eyewitness of what has happened inside Parliament. He's someone who was responsible for apprehending the intruder as well, and he's saying 2 or 3 very important things. He's saying, you know, you cannot, the knee-jerk reaction cannot be that you stop passes for ex-MPs. Are they Atankwadis, he asks, are they terrorists? So that is a call ultimately that the Speaker and Parliament Security will have to take. Importantly, he is also saying that you cannot put the BJP MP Pratap Simha in the dock because it was his name that was on the visitor's pass of Sagar Sharma, the main intruder. You cannot do so because people come to MPs for passes. They say हमें parliament देखना है, and MPs sometimes have no choice but to give people these passes, and there is no wherewithal for the MPs to do due diligence as to who these passes are going to, which means the Congress MP is saying that the government and Parliament security has to do their due diligence, and not expect MPs to do so. Let me go across to someone else who was inside Parliament when that, I don't even know what to call it. This is not mere chaos. This is not a mere security breach, ladies and gentlemen. This is something far, far, far greater. This is something far greater. This is of something that was of major, major concern. Arvind Sawant, you're a Shiv Sena UBT MP. You're joining us live. You were inside Parliament as well when this happened. Can you just start by telling us what you saw?
See, the business was running. I think 0 hour business was running, and Shashi Tharoor was placing his demand during the 0 hours were there. I was sitting beside Dr. Ashwini and Sudham Mansukh Mandia was adjacent to that. And as I was talking to them, naturally my sight was towards the visitors gallery. I saw a person stood immediately. I thought he must be giving some, he will give some slow. But suddenly he jumped and hung to the bars of the visitors gallery. For a moment he hanged over there and then jumped inside the house. After jumping inside the house, he started jumping from one bench to another on to the top of the benches. And he was running towards, you can say, the chair. But somehow, by watching that, by that time, another person also jumped inside. And then all MPs who were there present in the house gathered from all sides, geared him, and finally caught them. But before catching, I saw him remove his shoes. He removed the shoes. I thought he is going to remove the shoes and throw it on, whatever it may be. I don't know whatever the intention, but he was caught. And suddenly, the gas has emanated. I don't know what was the source of the gas. Whether something was there in his shoes or what, because you couldn't see it from my side, where I was sitting. And then the gas has come. The other person who did the same thing. Again, gas has come from there also. And see the date on which they had done it. It is the same date. On 13th of December 2001, the terrorists attacked the parliament. So many soldiers and all those who sacrificed the very day. These guys, but at that time they could not dare to enter inside. Today it is the other way. They were sitting in the gallery, visitors gallery, jumped inside, and inside the out. Had the gas been poisonous, what would have happened?
That is a question that many people are asking. What if this gas was poisonous? If they could carry this gas, they could have carried some poisonous gas or maybe a knife as well. After all, 3 layers of security were breached. This could have been a massacre. I want to ask you, as you saw these scenes unfold, Mr. Sawant, what was your reaction? What was the reaction of MPs around you?
It was really shocking. For a moment, it was shocking. How come? Because I was there in assembly in Maharashtra also. It has happened in the past, but never ever said somebody came with like a weapon. It's a threat. What sort of gas that was? And that is what I'm really shocked when the gas emanated from that person. It has come through what? Whether it was something was there in his shoes or what? That that was more shocking than that. Jumping and then the gas, that was more shocking. And how come the gas has emanated from which? What was the source of emanation of the gas? I don't know.
So would you say, I mean, many people are looking at the visuals. We saw a set of visuals where we see a group of 6-7 MPs surround Sagar Sharma, the man we are seeing leaping across tables, and then beat him up. I want to ask you, why was it, in your understanding, since you've served as an MP for a very long time, in your understanding, where were the marshals? Where was the parliament security? Why did it come to a point that the MPs had to intervene and, sort of step in to apprehend this intruder and not parliament security? Where were the marshals?
Marshals are adjacent to the chair. They stand adjacent to the chair. They have got no. The other marshals, you can see, if you call the other security also marshal, they don't enter in the house. So, see, our house is situated on the ground floor. The lobby where the marshals are available, 1 or 2 marshals are there in the lobby. They don't enter into the house. What is happening in the house? They will come to know after some 1 or 2 minutes, you can say. But they are not standing inside the house. They don't stand inside the house. Naturally, the first thing what the member of parliament has done, they get out in properly. From all sides, back side, foot side, everybody. So he could not have any escape to go anywhere. and come out. Because naturally in the house you don't have any escape at all once you land into the house. But the member of parliament showed the courage to catch hold of it without considering what he must be having in his, whether he's having any ammunition with him, weapon with him. We don't know it at all. But still they dare to catch him hold properly. Beaten him.
There is no doubt about the fact that this could have been disastrous. And the only reason why everyone is safe in Parliament, and there were 100 MPs in Parliament, including you, is because God was kind to us today, because we got lucky today. These scans could have had anything. My question is, will MPs raise this concern with the government? Because so far we've not heard the government speak.
This we are bound to raise it. We will raise it. What is that? That is what I said in the first only, that this is what the concern. Had the gas been a poisonous one, what would have happened? Can't imagine that, Even in this gas also was giving a little bit irritation to the eyes and nose also. When you breathe it, it was giving some irritation sense in the nose itself.
Okay, Mr. Sawant, I'm glad that all our MPs are safe. Thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take you back to what happened 22 years ago. Mr. Sawant has mentioned it. All the MPs who have spoken before him have mentioned it as well. This is when the Parliament attack of 2001 had unfolded. What had happened that day? At around 11:40, there is an ambassador car that comes in, that tries to come inside Parliament. It has a pass of the Home Ministry. Upon investigations, it was found that that pass was forged. It is stopped at the perimeter. 5 terrorists come in. They have guns. They start shooting. By the end of it, there are 7 security personnel and a gardener who are killed. Thankfully, all MPs who were inside the house were safe because these terrorists bearing guns could not enter the Parliament premises. Take a look at what has happened today. Take a look at what has happened today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I say, don't let anyone underplay this for you. There are 3 layers. Once you enter Parliament, there are 3 layers of security you have to go through if you are a visitor carrying a pass. 3 layers of security. At every layer, ladies and gentlemen, you are frisked. Now, across the world, we have seen that the maximum recoveries of drugs, for example, at airports happen either from people's wigs or from their shoes. How is it possible 3 layers of security in our Parliament, the most secure building in this country, could not detect these canisters? Sure, they were harmless, but what if they weren't? And as I take you back to what happened in 2001, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to have a brief chat with PK Mishra, I beg your pardon, who was the Parliament Security Officer in 2001. And the question I will ask him is whether we have learnt no lessons in 22 years. That happened in the old Parliament. This has happened in the new Parliament. What went wrong? Have we become too complacent? Mr. Mishra, thank you very much for your time. As you saw things in Parliament, as you saw things unfold live on your television set, did it take you back to 2001?
Yes, I could visualize my days in Parliament where I was Director of Security. I can go back to this day in 2001 when it happened, because that was a different issue which was fought in between the outer gate and the boundary wall gate and the building gate. And Jais Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba both were involved, and the fighting continued. We lost 2 of our Surakha Karmis of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha security, and also from Delhi Police security. And the best part of it, the building gates were closed, for which the lives of all the MPs of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, they could be saved that time. But the penetration was there from the iron gate, and they were trying to enter through the Rajya Sabha gate, the Vice President's gate, but they were unable to go inside, and the gate was immediately closed as per their training. But here, what has happened today? They have penetrated. They have taken the smoke candle. They have jumped from the gallery. They have come to the well, and they have lighted the smoke candle. And it is a big, and the biggest security threat to Parliament and security breach of Parliament in the past history. What would have happened if instead of this smoke candle, the yellow smoke candle, it could have been a poisonous gas, it could have been a small weapon, or it could have been an improvised explosive device, or it could have been a small knife also. He could have taken the lives of a lot of MPs. After blowing the smoke candle, he showed it to 2 MPs. The lives of 2 MPs, they were in danger. It is one of the biggest security lapses in the new parliament, which were not thought of happening. And the pass was given by some honorable MP, I don't want to name anybody, but the pass was given, and the 4 persons, those 2 who were outside, Nilam and the other one, who were having the same smoke candle outside, and 2, they were inside and who jumped. In fact, when they jumped inside the well, when the MPs are there, honorable MPs are there in Lok Sabha, there is only one security person who is there, that is the marshal. Excluding marshal, there is no other security person who can come to your help or to help the honorable MP. It is the honorable MPs only who surrounded those persons, and they were handed over to Lok Sabha security person. It is a shame to Lok Sabha security, and this should not have happened. And the best part of it, a lot of lives of honorable MPs were saved today. And we should not, the statement which came, we should not fear to the smoke, it was a yellow smoke, not poisonous. No, the yellow smoke could have been poisonous also. Let us think that there was a breach of security. There was a breach of heavy security breach in the parliament today, not heard up.
Okay. Mr. Mishra, the fact is that not many of us understand what Parliament security looks like. We know that there is a Parliament security service that looks after the security of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Could you tell our viewers how many layers of security were breached for this incident to take place?
Parliament security, it involves the security of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha staffs. They are well trained and ever earlier called watch and ward staff. But during our time, we changed it to Parliament security, and they were trained with the CRPF and the BSF. They were given full training. And CCTV was also introduced, and mobile communication was also introduced later on. But the outer cordon, the outer side of the perimeter is looked after by Delhi police, Delhi police, and between the iron gate outside perimeter wall and the building gate of the parliament, this is being looked into by special duty group of CRPF. A special battalion has been created by CRPF, that is called Special Duty Group, SDG. They look after the security between the outer perimeter wall and the building gate. Inside the building gate, this is looked after by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha security as far as Lok Sabha part and Rajya Sabha part is concerned. So, a person who is being recommended by an honorable MP to come and to come to the visitors gallery, he gets a pass. He comes to the reception. He is checked at the reception. Then he comes to the building gate. He is again checked, frisked by the security staffs of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha at the building gate. Then he goes to the gallery. At the gallery again he is checked by the security personnel, and then he goes to the gallery. And in the gallery also there is deployment of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha security. If somebody tries to jump also and somebody stands also, they immediately react. But here what has happened, the failure is from the beginning. I do not know how this failure it came. It could not be ascertained at the time of entry to Parliament House from the Iron Gate. When they crossed the building gate, they were not speak properly. When they came to the gallery, they were not checked. I am just telling you inside the zoo. It is all happening in airports also, in all over the world airports. Most of the equipments like this, they are being taken in the zoos only. So main thing is the IDs and the weapons and other things and explosives, they are carried through zoos only. That could have been checked physically. The physical checking has failed. And they were successful in taking it. They got the pass recommended by some honorable MPs. I don't want to name that, but they have entered the frisking, physical frisking. It went to, in fact, it was a complete failure. They could manipulate to go to the gallery and they gave a jump. I'm telling you, it could have been a massacre if it could have been a poisonous gas. It could have been a massacre if inside those two, instead of this yellow smoke candle, they could have taken a weapon or one improvised explosive device. It is God who has helped today the lives of so many MPs of Lok Sabha. And it is a failure. I give it as a failure of intelligence and a failure of physical checking of Parliament, Lok Sabha security staffs. Yeah.
No, this is a failure Mr. Mishra, this is a failure at multiple levels. There is absolutely no question about it. It is often said that forewarned is forearmed. Clearly not. Today is the 22nd anniversary of the 2001 Parliament attack. This is a day when of all days Parliament is at its highest security alert, and yet something like this happens. What if the Prime Minister was inside the house? Thankfully he was away in Chhattisgarh.
That's the second part of it. I think you are correct. This is the anniversary of this is in 2001. Today only it happened. I can visualize what happened in 2001. And today the Honorable Prime Minister and most of the cabinet ministers and most of the leaders of opposition, they were there to give Shraddhanjali to all the Shaheeds who were massacred, who were killed on this day in 2001. And PM was there. Just see, if PM would have been there in Lok Sabha, sitting there, and SPG would have been there in the inside the gallery with weapons. It's only one group which can carry the weapons inside Parliament. That is Special Protection Group, who look after the security of the Prime Minister. This is a fit case. If PM would have been sitting there, they could have killed this person who was jumping. There was no other alternative. But by chance, the Honorable PM was not there, but they were successful in giving a jump, and there was a threat, there was a danger to the lives of most of the Honorable MPs and ministers, those who are sitting inside Lok Sabha chamber, and that's not correct. What has happened, it's a failure of security, failure of intelligence. The input was there that something may happen. If the input was there, then things would have been very strict in Parliament today. And as it happened in 2001, they should have gunned down minute to minute and inch to inch could have checked properly, which they failed to do it. I'm sorry to tell that it's a great failure of a breach of security.
Okay, Mr. Mishra, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for giving us perspective on how Parliament security functions and how this was a failure at multiple levels. Advocate APS Khadial, your spokesperson of the Congress Party, you're joining us on the broadcast for a quick chat. Can I ask you, when you saw these pictures, and this was a live broadcast after all, this was 0 hour that was underway, it was 1:04, when we see some sort of commotion, we see this man leap across, jump off from the visitors gallery and leap across tables, and then we see what we see. What was your reaction as a citizen of this country watching this live broadcast?
One, Shreya, this is not just a security breach that has happened. It's an attack on India's democracy. And the world has seen it, the world has witnessed it, and the world is astonished at the security protocols which are being followed and which are not being followed. And the people of India are concerned about this fact that if our parliamentarians at the most secure place in India weren't safe and something of the sort could happen there, how do Indians feel safe in India? And number 4, now there are major questions that the Bharatiya Janata Party needs to give answers to. Number 1, the BJP MP who endorsed these individuals, gave them the passes. What relation did he have with them? Were they some acquaintances? Were they friends? Were they knowns? Were they relatives? What were they? Number 2, will there be an inquiry against the BJP MP who had the passes issued to them? Will there be an FIR registered against him? Will there be an arrest made? Will there be a time-bound inquiry? Because we need a fast-track disposal so that accountability could be fixed, Shreya. There are 3 to 4 security checks which happened, let alone these smoke cans. Even coins are not allowed if you have them in the wallet. Even phones are not allowed. How could these cans go inside? And after that, will the MP's membership be cancelled, given that the memberships are being cancelled for much less? There have been suspensions, there have been cancellations for a lot less. This is I think the biggest issue that we have witnessed today. And next is the Bharatiya Janata Party should also tell us one thing. Why were these security protocols not maintained today out of all days? When 22 years ago in 2001, a similar incident had taken place vis-a-vis the security breach. And how does the Bharatiya Janata Party ensure that an incident of this sort does not happen again in the future? What will you do in order to ensure this?
Okay, I'm sure the government will answer those questions sooner rather than later, because you have correctly said this is not just a breach of India's parliament security. This is a breach of, this is a breach of India's democracy, and this is something that is not just unnerving. It is something that is unacceptable, simply unacceptable. Just a caveat to our viewers. Thank you, APS Khadial, for joining us. Just a caveat for our viewers. We did send an invite to the BJP for a spokesperson on the show. They declined. Possibly they're still trying to ascertain facts before they want to speak. Anyhow, that's the big story we are tracking right here on Mirror Now. As and when details come in, we'll put them out for you. For the moment, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.